Okay, good afternoon, everyone. How are you today? Okay, good. My name is Zheng Shaohua, and I'm the head of sociology here. So some of you may already see me at the talks and, because we had the open house, right, this year. Okay, I'm very happy to see all of you, and I would like to warmly welcome you to join our NTU sociology family. Okay, we have very friendly and close-knit family here. So we have a student sociology club. I hope you guys can actively get involved in their activities. We also have very nice and friendly faculty members because our division, our program is not very large. Of course, we are also not small, okay? So that's why we build a very close relationship between faculty and students, okay? I just attend a convocation to see the graduating students off, right, for a successful career. And I can tell you, so among all the four programs in our school, I do see so much excitement on the faces of our students, right? I heard them like cheering when their name were called, when the names were called during the convocation. Okay. Anyhow, I will not say too much because we already run out of time. So I would like to wish you a very successful, wonderful 4-year journey at NTU and particularly with NTU sociology. Now I'm going to invite Associate Professor Francis Lin to give you a briefing on the academic matters.
Testing. Okay, good afternoon. I think this is the first time I'm seeing all of you. It's a pleasure to meet you. And before we start, I think I want to introduce you to some of your professors who are here today. Later on, you're going to meet them to collect your matriculation card. Okay, so there are a few here. So Prof. Prem Chan. Hello, everyone. Yes. Prof. Prem specializes in gerontology and quantitative methods, amongst others, right? You'll get to meet him. Prof. Chan Xiaohua is here. At the back there, Prof. Ian McDonagall, who specializes in science, technology, and society studies. And he has just completed a very fascinating documentary, and you'll get to see the documentary very soon, okay? Where's Shannon? It's just gone out? Oh, yes, it's gone out. Okay, so when the rest of the faculty members are coming, strolling in, right, I'll introduce you to them, right? Okay, so today, what's going to happen over the next probably half an hour or so, right? I'm going to go through the academic study plan, right, and some of the expectations that we have of you, and also allowing you to ask questions. I think many of you may have questions, right? Then we will try our best, right, to address your questions, answer your questions pertaining to course registration, minors, majors, internship, exchange programs, and so on. And of course, before you join us, I think many of you have gone through our website, right? And NTU website. So you are quite familiar, I suppose, with a lot of details here. So I will not belabor too much, right, on the details. Really just to give you a stronger impression of some of the important things, right, as students, right, starting on the first year that you need to take note of, okay? Right? So along the way, if you have any questions at all, please raise your hand and feel free to ask questions. Okay? That's fine? Right. So my name is Francis. I'm in charge of student life. For example, internship, course registration, and some change of programs, right? You'll see me, right? I specialize in the study of religion and society. I also teach courses on tourism. So if you are interested in such courses, I'll see you in class soon, in the second year onwards, from the second year onwards. Okay, right. You are all sociology majors, which means you come here to major in sociology, right? quite different from NUS and other universities. So you have already decided, more or less, that you want to specialize in sociology, right? Okay. So this pertains to the major program. So later on, if you have other questions pertaining to minors and so on, please raise them. Okay. Right. This is the agenda. You can look through. Q&A, that seems a lot, but we'll go through that fairly quickly, right? Q&A, you can ask the questions. Right, this is the structure of NTU SSS curriculum. As you can see here, sociology is one important component of two other components of your undergraduate studies here, right? The ICC, the Interdisciplinary Collaborative Core, and the broadening and deepening electives. So we'll cover some of this, okay? Especially the BDE, the broadening and deepening electives, allow you to take courses outside of sociology, outside of COHAS, and so on, right? To really broaden your studies. So the focus now, of course, is on sociology, right? The major course and the prescribed electives. So as you know very well by now, right, as a single major, you have to complete 125 AUs. Okay, and this is the breakdown of the number of AUs for program and ICC and so on. Okay, right? So this is pretty straightforward, right? So as you can see here, where's the laser pointer? Is this here? Sociology major requires 69 AUs, BDE 29 AUs, which is quite a lot, right? Okay, so as you can see here, NTU really wants you to explore outside of your major as well. Okay? So these are the major requirements. Okay, so for example, your first year, level 1000 now. So next week onwards, you'll start your classes. Okay, so you can see here, right, core, there's a core here, 3 AUs, and then the prescribed elective 2 courses here. So at the 1000 level, in your first year, you'll cover for sociology, right, core and 2 prescribed electives, right? So, and the second year and third year, and these are the number of courses that you need to take in order to clear everything, right? Okay, 69 AUs in 3 to 4 years. Straightforward, okay? No problem, right? And of course, here, when you're in your final year, you do your graduation project, comprising of 8 AUs, but not all of you will do the graduation project, as you know later on. Okay, so ICC requirements. So now, of course, from the first year onwards, especially in the first year, you are registered for the ICC, right? You take courses together with students from other schools, other colleges, right? To learn foundational courses, right? These are important courses that all NTU students will have to take, right? And then you have college-specific, college-specific ICC, okay? Specific to our college, right? So this, right, will be shared across university, right? And then the foundational core will be amongst COHAS, right? The college level. Okay, so you are registered for this, right? It's a very fascinating course. Now, the BDE. Some of you may have started looking at, electives, right? In other colleges, in other schools, or even other programs within our school. Okay, so you can start exploring, right? Some of these electives that you can use your BDEs for, right? But your BDEs can be used for a lot of other things as well, as you can see here, right? For your minors, right, if you want, for exchange, professional internship, and so on. Okay? No problem so far? Now, year of study classification. Now, all of you are first years, of course, right? You have not done any courses. You are starting to accumulate your AUs, right? So sometimes you say, oh, which year are you in? Sometimes say second year, third year, fourth year, right? It really depends, right, on the completed AUs here, right? Okay. Some people, maybe they take a slower pace, right, to accumulate the AUs, right? They may be already in their so-called third year third year physically in NTU, but they may not be in the third year in terms of the completed AUs. All right? Okay, so this is pretty straightforward as well. Course exemption. Now, I think NTU in general and NTU Sociology in particular prides itself in taking students from different streams, right? Different educational background, right? We have the IB students, we have A-level students, poly students, and so on. Okay, so some of you may want to apply for exemptions, right? Are eligible for exemptions, right? So those who are eligible for exemptions, right, you'll be notified, right? Then you can apply for exemptions. So you can see here, poly graduates, A-level, and so on. Okay. By the way, we'll send you the slides later. We'll upload the slides, right? Okay. Any questions with regard to this? Anybody qualifies for exemptions here? Some of you, right? Poly students, right? IB students as well. Okay. Those A-level who have completed H3 level as well. Okay. So you can get to choose to apply for exemptions, right? That will lighten your load, definitely. Right? So you will be notified, all right? You must apply for exemption in your first semester. Okay? And the exemption is optional. It's optional. Okay? But of course, you cannot extend yourself from sociology core, okay? Or prescribed electives and so on. Okay? So there are certain courses that all sociology major will have to take. Right? So this is very important. So that you can call yourself a sociologist after 4 years here. All right? Okay, and you may apply up to 6 AU exemptions. Okay, so if you are eligible, right, you can apply up to all this. Okay, and this will be the number of AUs available for the broadening course, right, will be reduced as well. Okay. So for all of you who are eligible for this, right, please consider, right, these exemptions. Now, I'm sure at this stage, looking at 4 years of studies ahead of you, you may be wondering, right, okay, what courses should I take? How should I plan my timetable, and so on, right? Some of you may be overwhelmed by the number of courses that you need to take, but it's okay. We will go through this together, and if you have any questions at all, I and the undergraduate office are here to help. So what follows is a sort of a guideline for you, okay? Okay, semester by semester guide. It's only a guideline. Some people wish to accelerate, right? In the second year onwards, they take more courses and overload, okay? So as I said, right, these are guidelines, right? Which semesters to take what kind of modules or courses, right? So take some time to take a look at this chart. So telling you, or giving you a guideline of your 4 years of studies in NTU Sociology, right? So as you can see here, Sem 1, which is coming up next week, right? You're starting Sem 1, this is the guideline, and Sem 2, right? So in Sem 2, you are already starting on a 2000 level module, all right? Okay, you can choose the 2000 level module already, right? And then there's at the end of year 2, you have a short internship, right? You can apply for internship here, right? And then here at the end of 3rd year as well. Okay, so take some time to take a look at this. Any question? Yes? Your name, please.
I'm sorry, hi, my name is Gabrielle.
Gabrielle, yes, Gabrielle.
I just want to ask, because we actually have our BE ad drop coming up, like it's starting today.
Yeah.
I noticed that you put the BE, first BE in Sem 2. Would you recommend taking it in Sem 1 instead?
Here, I think Sem 1 usually, I think, is for you to settle in and so on, right? But of course, if you wish to do so, I think you can, right? Can you?
For first year students, they have to stick to their time plan.
Okay. Not so much flexibility in the end. Sorry to say that. Yeah. So so I think it's planned in such a way that, of course, as you can see here in Sem 1, right, you're settling in, getting to know sociology and so on, right? It's better not to, it's better to focus, I guess. I mean, this whole plan. So yes, you can start from then onwards. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's stick to the plan. Oh, you have to fight for it. Can you fight with him? Look at him. Can you fight with him? No. I'm just joking, right? He's Samson, right? But of course, that can be exempt. If we go through the program, right, you see that sometimes we can make certain exceptions for certain things, requests, right? Okay. But apparently, this, according to Samson, you have to stick to this, right? Okay. Is that fine? Right? Okay.
One more point to clarify.
Yeah.
For the gap here, you see the short internship that you can explore, right? Just to be clear, it's only you can take it either at the end of your STEM of your year 2 or at the end of year 3. Either or. You're not required to take 2 times.
Yeah. So the internship, that doesn't mean that you have to take one internship here and another internship here. No. Okay. So for example, students go on the internship, right? Professional internship, right? Very important for our students. Okay. That's where you apply to do internship in certain companies of your choice, right? Or you choose from a list, or you can self-source, right? And then subject to approval, there will be an approval process, right? So these are very important experiences, learning experiences as well, right? In fact, we have a lot of students who found out that there are certain jobs are not suitable for them, right? But there are some other students, many other students who think, oh, finally I got to experience, for example, working in the ministry, or working in advertising, working as a social worker, for example, right? And then they find their passion, right, in certain jobs. So it's very important, right? And very rewarding as well. Okay? Right. So, right. This. Okay. Cost assessment. Cost assessment. As you go through 4 years here with us, right, you take different numbers of courses, different courses in different schools, right? But of course, majority of courses will be in sociology. So there are some ways in which you are assessed, right, for and your results. Okay, so continuous assessments, usually called the CA, and the final assessment exams. Okay. So as you can see here, from next week onwards, right, your various course coordinators will let you know, right? Okay, in this particular class, HS 1001, Person in Society, right? Usually there's a lecture component, then there's a tutorial component, there's the essay component, right? There's a tutorial participation component, and so on, right? So when you receive the course outline, right, all these various modes of assessment will be there already, okay? But for undergraduates, for the first 3 years, right, it's compulsory to take exams. Okay, to take exams. So final assessment exams. Okay, but in the 4th year, 4,000 level, right, some of the courses, right, are all continuous assessment, no exams. Okay, no exams as well. Okay, so as you can see here, so these are different kinds of assessments. I'm sure you are very familiar, right, in your JCs, your poly, and so on. Right, you're making videos. Participating in various kind of group projects, individual projects as well, presentations and class participation. So here in the university, just like before you join us, right, in the previous educational institution, class participation is very important. It's very important. I'm sure you have heard this already, right? You're expected to speak up, digest the reading material, and engage in meaningful conversations, right? Discussions and debates. Don't shy away from debates. In fact, in the university setting, right, we value debates, okay, especially during tutorials. So, for example, class participation, right? Don't think that, okay, I just turn up for class every week, that's class participation and keep your mouth shut, right? No. So you can, of course, it's great that you turn up every week, right? But please, you also assess, according to your class participation, how well you engage, right, with your fellow students, how well you contribute to class discussions, and the quality of your debate and ideas as well. Okay, so that's very important. So if you think that in your previous educational institutions, in your previous experience, that you are not very encouraged or not used to speaking up in class or debating in class, right? When you come to university, that's what, in fact, you're encouraged to do. Okay, you're encouraged to do, to debate with one another. And it's through this kind of debates that our thoughts get clarified, we learn concepts, right? We learn things from each other, from the tutors, okay? So this is very important, right? Now, this brings us to, from assessments, right, to the GPA, right? Cumulative grade point average, the CGPA here. So in your transcript, right, every year after first year, you get your CGPA, second year, you get a CGPA, cumulative, right? So this is awarded according to your grades, right? If your grades, I'm sure you're quite familiar, right? So it's accumulative, right? Accumulative and average out, okay? So, and you will know by now, right? You will determine your class of honors, okay? Class of honors. You may wish to know that there are very few people who fail sociology, right? Most people will actually graduate, right, with certain class of honors, okay? So it's just depending on what class of honors you achieve with your CGPA, okay? So, so as you can see here, first year, this pertains to you, very important, right, okay? This acknowledges the fact that, university may be new, right, to most, all of you, right? And some of us take time to settle in, right, and so on. You may not do well in certain subjects or courses, right, okay? Maybe you're still finding time, right, to settle in and so on. So as you can see here, right, up to 6 letter graded courses that did not make the pass grade will be exempted, right, from your CGPA calculations, only for your first year. Only for first year, right? So second year onwards, everything will be counted. Is that clear? Okay, right? But of course, you will try your best. I'm sure you all try your best, right? Okay. But of course, if you have failed your course, right? If you failed, it will be recorded as well, right? But it will not be, of course, calculated, right? But it will be indicated, right? Right. SU. I'm sure a lot of people discussion, right, in online forums and so on about what to SU for, what is SU, and so on, right? Satisfactory, unsatisfactory. You can exercise so-called the SU option, right? Okay, as you can see here for the BDEs, okay? So this is really to encourage you. Say, for example, I want to study astronomy, right? But you're not very good in maths, but you're just interested in astronomy, for example, right? Or philosophy of mathematics, but you're not really good in maths, right? It's okay, right? Okay, you study outside of your home discipline, right? Program, you explore subjects of your interest and so on, and you can exercise your satisfactory, unsatisfactory, right? So you don't need to worry about, okay, what if I study this engineering or science courses, right? I am not a science student, so what will happen, right, if I get very bad results? It's okay. You can exercise your so-called SU option. All right? Okay? So this is another example of how NTU is emphasizing on this, on broadening education as well. You're encouraged to do that. Okay? Any questions so far? No? Okay? And then you have the so-called special term, right, May to July. Right, special term, this is usually a time where you go for your internship, right, professional exchange, or you may sign up for certain special term courses, right, okay, right, this is during the school holidays, right. Short leave, you may apply for short leave for various reasons. I'm the one who signed off on the short leave, right, So you apply for short leave for whatever reason, could be personal reasons and so on, and go through the undergraduate office. Samson and the others will look through at it, and I will look at your application, right? And then we'll approve or not approve accordingly, right? Okay. So if you do need to apply for short leave, right? Certain, for example, urgent personal matters, right? You may do so, right? Okay. So for those receiving subsidized tuition fees, right? As you can see here, 8 semesters only, right? These are things for additional notes, right? Right, graduation project requirements coming to your 4th year, final year. Seems like a long time away, right? But it's not too long, right? You enjoy your life here, you enjoy the courses and so on, and soon you have to decide, oh, okay, am I going to do my GP, so-called GP, right? Sometimes it's called FYP, final year project, sometimes it's called GP. Okay, so these are the requirements, okay? As you can see here, depending on your CGPA. Very clear, right? Okay? Not everyone is eligible. Even if you are fascinated, if you are motivated, passionate about doing graduation projects. So what is graduation project? Graduation project is like many of your school projects, right? But with more detailed, right? And also often requiring, for SOCI students especially, to go outside of your classroom to collect data, right? Collect data. I'm sure many of you also have this kind of experience, right? You conduct interviews, for example, right? You may engage in what we call participant observation. You join a particular group, observe, participate in activities, take notes, right? And then analyze your observation according to your sociological theories and so on. Okay? So this is a final year project. You will be briefed, right, when time comes. But as you can see here, if, for example, if you want to do a GP, so you have to start thinking about it soon, right? You have to prepare yourself because you need to strive for 3.9 and above. All right? Okay? So you can see here. Here, if you 3.75, right? You can choose, right? To do 4,000 courses, 2 additional, right? Additional, and then, or you may appeal. You may appeal. Not all appeals are approved, right? Because we have to ask various course coordinators, right? You may have taken certain courses, and then we have to gauge your competencies, various kind of competencies, right? Okay, or your motivation. But if you're 3.75, sorry, you can't do your graduation project, but you will still graduate, right? But you have to take 2 additional 4,000 level courses. Okay? Right? Any questions so far? Any questions? So this will come later, right? In your 3rd year, you start to think about that, and then the GP coordinator will give you a briefing, right? And then you start to think about, okay, what kind of projects I'm interested in. You can do it individually or in groups, right? You pair up with someone, right? In 2 or 3s, right? And then you can devise your own research project, right? You spend almost a year, or less than a year, right? About 6 to 9 months, right? Thinking and conceptualizing and conducting the research for the projects, and then you write a report. Okay? Right. So that's the GP. No questions? And requirements. You must have completed all this, right? 95 AUs, all the core courses for SOCI, right? And all this. And you must have completed your compulsory internship, your professional attachment program, right? So these are the other requirements. Straightforward? Okay, good. Professional attachment, internship. Now, as I mentioned from the very beginning, this is a very important part of our education journey in NTU, especially sociology as well, right? So usually students take it at after year 2, right? After year 2 usually, right? So we do have students who have completed already coming back, and professors are assigned to them, right? To follow their professional attachment journeys. They write reports, reflections, and so on. We get to see the progress, right? And some of the challenges they face, and what kind of things they've learned, right, through the process. So these are some of the key points to take note of, right? So all this must be completed, right, before year 4, okay? Before year 4. So take a look at it. Any questions regarding this? When time comes, you'll be briefed as well, right, on this professional attachment program. So just look out for them, right, for the notification. So end of year 2, year 3, now you get to do that. I had previously I had students who went overseas for attachment, or who self-source, right, in certain organizations. They propose the organization. In fact, the Sociology program will look through university, who have to approve the organizations, and then they may be able to start. They started, right, in these self-source organizations. But there's a long list of attachments opportunities for you, okay? Exchange. Now, it's also a fact that many students these days, they wish to go for overseas exchange, right? How many of you have thought about that? Anybody? How many of you? Overseas exchange? Overseas. Raise your hands, please. Wow. Okay. 3/4 of you, right? Overseas exchange. Yes, you are encouraged to do that, and there are various opportunities to do that. I'm sure you are briefed on that as well, right? Various kind of programs allowing for 1 semester and so on, and how you gain credits and transfer the credits and so on. So this is also a very important part of students' education, right, on exchange. But there are some students who wish to go on exchange, but they may not want to go overseas, right? Many students do so. I had students, and we had students from NUS, SMU, and so on. That's fine too, right? If you wish to do an exchange in Singapore with NUS or SMU, that's fine. That's perfectly fine, okay? So you're encouraged to do that as well. Don't think that you have to go overseas, right, for student exchange, okay? So here, as you can see, here in year 3, right? This is something that preoccupies year 3 students, okay? Year 3 students. So as you can see here, this is something that you need to think about and take note, right? Okay, don't arrange your internship to coincide, so exchange to coincide with your internship, right? Or back to back, okay? So this is very important, right? Okay? So as you can see, all the major courses and ICT courses are offered in year 1 and 2. So that's why students go for the exchange in year 3s, right? You have more time to do that, okay? Then when do you want to go? The summer and winter exchanges, okay? Right. Now, transfer. Of course, you go overseas on exchange, you take courses there, credit-bearing courses, and you may transfer the credits back to NTU, okay? These are a lot of nitty-gritty processes, and when it comes to the time where you do that, right, you'll be given more information, right? This is really just to emphasize to you that it can be transferred back. But do note that a maximum of 6 courses, 20 AUs can be transferred back to NTU, right? Okay? So you may not remember this, but when you're year 2s and so on, there'll be briefings on this. This is really just to emphasize to you there's this internship program. Oh, sorry. Okay, so that's all about requirements for the program, right? But now this is a new environment, new way of studying, new way of engaging with your teachers, with your peers, and so on. So we encourage you to cultivate certain good habits. I'm sure all of you have been qualified for university education. You have already cultivated a lot of good study habits. But this is something we want to emphasize again, right? Some good habits, right? You need to, you're reminded to check your audit, right, quite regularly, so that you know that, okay, I need to sign up for a certain kind of courses. I need to accumulate certain kind of number of AUs, right? So I can move on. Have I missed out on some of the PEs or the cores and so on, right? Because a lot of upper level courses were depending on you whether you have completed certain cores, right, or PEs, okay? And of course, if you have any question at all, please contact our friendly Soci office admin, and then we'll attend to your queries, right? Please feel free to do so. And your professors will communicate with you via your official NTU email account, not your other kind of account, Yahoo, Hotmail, no, right? Okay. Most students are okay. I mean, but we do encounter students who are not very responsive, right? And a lot of important information, right, is given through delivered through emails, right? Some rather urgent or last-minute changes in class timing and so on, right? Okay. So please, do right check your emails regularly, okay? Right? There may be some very important information from your course coordinators, right? And of course from the university as well, from the school, okay? So, so these are some of the emails, addresses that you can use, right? And later on, you are going to meet your academic mentor to collect your matriculation card, and you will get to meet them, right? And you can arrange meetings with them, right, for academic mentoring. Now, last but not least, academic integrity. Right, there's something called plagiarism, which we take very seriously. That's to say that you use certain things, right, without attributing them or acknowledging the sources, and taking all these ideas or arguments as if they are yours. Okay. Now, this in academia is the most serious offense. Okay, so from the first year onwards, you'll be told repeatedly, right? Academic integrity is very important. Now, these days, of course, with AI, right? ChatGPT, and these days, even lawyers are using AI, right? And students are using that as well. Okay, but there are softwares to check and so on. Okay, so especially when you're writing essays, for example, right? You need to cite your sources, right, appropriately. You learn. It's a learning process, right? In the first semester, you'll be attending briefings, right, by librarians and so on. You'll be taught about, okay, how to cite properly and so on. Okay, so this is very important, right, academic integrity. Any questions regarding this? So if it's a serious case of plagiarism, you may fail the course, okay, or you get 0 for your submission, something like that. Okay, right? Because plagiarism is considered a form of cheating, right? And that's very serious matter. Right. That's all. As I said, quite short briefing. Now is for questions. Any questions so far? Thanks to Gabriel already had a question. So any other questions? Yes? The floor is open. Any questions? Any questions? No? Yes, please. Yes. How would the schedule look like? Okay. So after, for example, after your exams, right, you'll start your professional attachment, right? 10 weeks, something like 8 weeks or 10 weeks usually, right? So you will, for those who have been to attachment before, you know, right? It's like a proper job, right? Okay. So you will have a supervisor there, the organization supervisor. You have your faculty supervisor. All right. So you'll start a job, right? You be briefed what you need to do and so on. Ideally, of course, you are able to apply some of the skills, some of the knowledges that I've used, right? Okay, and then and then throughout the professional attachment, right? You write reports, regular reports. Yeah.
Shannon is coordinating.
Oh yes. Okay, Shannon, you want to?
What's the question? What was the question again? Oh, sorry. Actually, I was asking about the 24-hour period, right? 24 week. Sorry, 24-week period. 24 hours.
So semester leave. Oh, 24. Ah.
Like how much money?
Yeah. Oh, 24. Not the professional.
So that one you have to plan on your own, right?
Yeah.
So with the 10-week internship, that doesn't interrupt any of your AUs that you have to take. But if you're going to take the 24-week one, it counts for more AUs, but that means that you will have to give up some of your VDEs as well. So you have to kind of work out how much you have and how much you can use.
Is that okay? Sorry, I think I misunderstood your question. Okay. Right. So as I said, now when we come to the time when you have to register for this, you will get more details. But it's great that you ask, right? You get a sense. Maybe you need to prepare for that, right? Any other questions? Yes. Your name, please. By the way. Sorry. Edward. Okay, Edward. Nice to see you. Okay. Any other questions? Please feel free to do so.
Slide that shows the alternate plan. It's not show. After the internship, the gap that they get. Previous one, just now the study gap.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Schedule.
The schedule, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. This one.
So yes.
Yeah.
You can see this is the.
Sorry. Yeah. This is the one. Yeah. 12 AUs. That's 12 AUs. That's a 24 weeks internship. Okay? So that's another way of managing your internship. Okay? Any other questions? Yes, please. Your name is?
My name is Felicity. So
Felicity.
hypothetically, if you were to be able to be exempted from any BDEs, like for example, if you're a polytechnic graduate, what exactly would be the pros and cons of having the exemption?
Okay. So, of course, that can free up, I think, some of the BDEs for other things, right? Or you may lighten your workload a bit, right? So you may want to exercise that. So you're given a choice, right, to do that as well. This is to acknowledge that in some of your previous educational experiences, you may have accumulated some kind of knowledge already, right? You may not need to repeat, right, certain courses, right? So you can free that up for other things. Yeah. Is that okay? That's the advantage. Yeah. Cons, any cons? Any disadvantage? Huh? Yeah, you might use the AUs to take another class, right? Expand your knowledge, discover new interests, that kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Please feel free to ask. And the rest of the faculty is here. Yes, Gabriel.
Hi, sorry, this is going to sound so pessimistic, but then with regards to if touchwood a student fails a subject, would there be a requirement for them to retake the module? And then, let's say, because I know in poly, if you retake the module and you still fail, I think after the third time they kick you out or something like that. What's the policy here? Not saying that anybody will fail.
Yeah. We do have cases, right? We do have students who fail. Right, who fail certain courses, right? So of course, if it's core courses, they have to retake the courses, right, to pass, because you have to pass the course in order to complete other further studies, right, within SOCI, right? So usually we'll try our best to coach them, and they will repeat the courses, right? But repeat failures for those, for example, who have failed repeatedly, couldn't get the required CGPA, that's very rare. Then they may be asked to leave the program. Yeah. But I think very rare for students to repeatedly fail core or prescribed electives, right? So I'm not sure how many we have come across, right, over so many years. Yeah. So on that optimistic note, right? That's okay. So you don't, yeah. I'm sure. I mean, of course, we're all worried, right, about our grades and what if I fail and so on. But we will usually encourage. We'll find out the reasons for failure, and we'll assign mentors and make sure that the student, right, will be able to catch up, right, if they were to take the course again, right? Yeah. Any other questions? If not, then I shall pass the time over maybe to. Okay. Yes, all the rest of faculty are here, and then we will start with the meeting your mentor and get your matriculation card. So how should we do this?